Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. It is official. The NFL Combine is in the books. We got to take a look at all of the skill players that we're going to be drafting in our rookie drafts coming up. And the Combine's fun, man. It is part of the puzzle, right? This big puzzle that we have as we lead to the NFL draft before we hit our rookie drafts, right? This is just some great information for us to have, not to go overboard with what we see at the Combine nonetheless, but what it is, it's great for me personally. I mean, I watch a ton of film on these players. Been watching them for 3 years playing Devy fantasy football. Is really to confirm the athletic traits that we see on the field and to see, if in fact that these guys got some elusiveness, some speed, the agility drills are good, right? To see if these are true athletes, right? Because that's where the NFL's going. I think from the running back position, we're fading from the big, bulky backs who lack lateral movement, and the NFL just wants space creators and speed guys, right? So I think the Combine showed out pretty well. So we're going to talk about 4 players today, 4 running backs that are winners in my mind and 4 that are losers. We're going to have some fun. If you play Dynasty, you play fantasy and you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that's going to give you content like this on the 2024 class. We're going to start scouting 2025 players, 2026 players. Hit that subscribe button. Really trying to grow the channel here, and appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. We're going to keep it kind of short, get you in, get you out. So let's get right to it, man. I'm pretty excited about the first guy I want to talk about. That's Trey Benson. He's been my RB1 on my dashboard product as a subscription service that I sell. And he's been there for quite some time. I mean, he brings up, everything that you see with him in his game. He's got the contact balance, some good vision. He's got this, the strength and the lateral ability and all that, can catch the ball out of the backfield. But the big thing to me was, really going to the NFL Combine and getting the medical, clearances because he had that gruesome knee injury a few years back. But it looks like he came out looking good, and man, he ran a 4.3940. It was the 3rd fastest. It was really impressive for a guy of his size, 6 foot, 216 pounds. And that's really it, man. I mean, he really excelled at all of the drills, and it just confirmed what I have seen on film with Trey Benson. So again, he was a winner. This was one of the backs that I was personally waiting to see what his 40 time was, and his kind of splits and all those agility drills to see, because you could see on the film that he's got some lateral ability and he's got that contact balance. So he's kind of the whole package. He's not too big and bulky and kind of slow, but he's not a speed demon either. So I think he's going to have a role. There's not going to be a lot of RB, I think, running backs that come in and take over a full workload in the NFL. It just doesn't seem the way it's going to be. But if there are 2 or 3 backs in this class that I think could potentially get that role eventually, Trey Benson's one. So he is a winner in my book. Great 40 time. Again, just showing with the other agility drills and everything that he has got some movement skills and some pep in his step and some burst and acceleration, and that is what it is for the NFL draft. All right, so another player that kind of showed out, Jaylen Wright. Okay, I've been a Jaylen Wright supporter for some time. Go back and look on this channel. I put a video out probably a month and a half ago on Jaylen Wright, showing you the speed that this guy has. He's got contact balance. He's got 2 good years at Tennessee running the ball. This year especially, he averaged 6.7 yards a carry over the last 2 seasons, and he came out with the 2nd fastest running back 40 of 4.38. He had 7.4 yards per carry, leading all FBS running backs this year. His broad jump was great, 11'2", 38 vertical, was ranked 4th out of the running backs and stuff. So he went down there and proved that he has the speed, the elusiveness, again, and that I think is what the NFL is looking for. So a good day for Jaylen Wright. I think everyone was thinking that he would be the guy with the fastest 40, but my 3rd winner here is a guy that I'm really not too familiar with, and I'm going to say that if you're watching this video, you're not either, and that is Isaac Gendo, Louisville running back. So I did a little research on him. He was played 4 years at Wisconsin and never had, in 2022, had 385 yards. All right, so he transferred to Louisville this year, playing in 2023, had 132 carries, 810 yards, 6.1 average, 11 TDs. All right, so we're going to have to go back and now watch the film on this guy, because I'm pretty sure I haven't watched a lot of film, honestly, with the guy. But, man, he had the RAS score that you guys see here on the screen, 9.99, ranked 2nd out of over 1,700 running backs. just killed all the drills. Look at the percentages on the player profile that you see on the screen, man. The dude just killed it. So we got to go back and look. So he is a riser now. I mean, he's probably a day 3 guy if I had to guess. But nonetheless, I mean, here's a guy that's going to come out of nowhere. Could be that Pacheco kind of player. Who knows? That nobody was really high on Pacheco when he came out, found himself in a starting role as a championship ring, right? So this guy's got to be a riser, man. He ran like, the craziest 40 time for a running back and really popped when no one probably really knew too much who Isaac was. So I'm going to go back and do some film reviews. I'm actually going to post them on this channel. I'm going to go cut up some Louisville film, see if I can find some all 22 in my libraries that I post again on my dashboard for my dashboard subscribers. And just because this kid's fast doesn't mean that he can play football, right, in the NFL. So we got to keep that in mind for all of these players that we're talking about. The speed that we're seeing and the agility drills and the movement skills that are being confirmed by the combine are nice, but you still have to have the vision, contact balance, the ability to pick up a playbook and all that. But nonetheless, he has to be a riser. He ran the fastest 40 time for, I believe, all of the running backs at the combine. So you have to love that. All right, my last riser that I want to talk about is Marshawn Lloyd. All right, now down at the Senior Bowl, man, the dude showed us everything we wanted to see: pass catching, lateral movement, footwork, right? So he had a great 40-yard dash at 4.46 and really did well in a lot of the agility drills as well. So, I mean, he showed his ability in the shuttle, in the gauntlet, really had a nice combine down there. He is a top 5 back for me in this class. He has been for some time. So, again, nice to see that speed and, just his ability. I mean, all the drills that he did just look really good. I mean, he just looks smooth, good accelerator, just an overall good back. All right, because like in this draft class for running backs, I mean, there's no guy at the top, right? We all know that. So it's this big horse race to the draft, and of course, draft capital and opportunity are going to be huge and key. All right, so those are my 4 guys that I think, and I probably could have put in Blake Corum too. He had a decent 40 time, came in over 200 pounds, not as big as we thought, but he's still a top back for me as well in this class. But I didn't put him in here because he was more of a neutral kind of player. All right, we talked about the winners. Now we got to talk about the losers just a little bit. Like I said, the NFL wants speed. The NFL, out of running backs, they want speed. They want space creation. You need footwork and all of that. Some of these guys have those traits, man, but then they go down here in this athletic training and testing and just don't do well. And the first guy we have to talk about is Audric Estime, Notre Dame running back. I mean, had a really, really good season. And I think even the guy on ESPN, Mel Kiper, had him as the number 2 running back. He's never been in my top 5 this year, only because I don't think the NFL is looking for 220-pound, really running backs anymore. This guy's a big, bruising, move the chains pile, but he ran the worst 40 time at 4.72. And just really did not look great in the agility drills as well. So he did have a high vertical and broad jump to counter the 40 time. So I guess he did. I'll take that back. I guess he did have a little better. But man, again, he's going to be a day 3 guy. I don't think he is a top 100 pick in the NFL. I've never thought he was going into it. So this kind of confirms what I've seen on film. Shows some burst on film. Play speed. And another thing I should say is play speed is more important than 40 times, right? So, but again, this is a running backs winner and loser show, and anyone who clocks in at 4.72, I'm sure there's NFL front offices that are going to be like, looks good on film, but he isn't really that fast. All right. So this one pains me because I like Bucky Irving. All right. But he came out and did not have a very good 40 time. His broad jump, 9'7", was the second worst among the group. 4.55 40-yard dash, which isn't like horrible, but given him his, it came in at just over 190 pounds. When you're that small, you need to bring a punch, in, I think, acceleration and, lateral movements. And we saw some of that at Oregon. But again, this kind of confirms that he may not be the athlete that we think he is. I mean, the guy caught a ton of balls out of the backfield, and this guy was around my top 5, 6, 7 backs, you know what I mean? But he's got that passing ability. I'm not going to write Bucky Irving off as far as a potential dynasty, flex option, but Bucky Irving was never going to be a lead back in the NFL. The majority of these running backs are not going to be lead backs. They're all going to possibly get an opportunity because there's no other option. But I don't believe any of these guys are going to, be really just lead backs that are fed the ball like they were in the past. But Bucky Irving has got to be a faller because he's got to be a loser on this because I think people were expecting him. This was one of the ones that I was really hoping he came in, lit it up, big 40, really crushed all the agility drills and really showed that he was a springy athlete, and it just doesn't look that way. So he has to be a loser. All right, Braylon Allen is a loser for me because he did not participate. He decided not to run the 40-yard, and I did some research, and I don't know if he was hurt or whatever. He did perform in some of the other drills. But man, Braylon Allen is such a polarizing running back because he's so freaking big at 6'2", 245 pounds. That was pre-combine. I think he came in a little lower than that. But I'll tell you what, man, this was another player that I was really looking at. Let's see what kind of speed, because I don't think he's got really great speed. And I'll bet you the agent told him, don't run the 40 because it's not going to help you, right? So that has to be a red flag again. I don't know if the NFL really is going to love guys that are 235 pounds and that bigger model. Go look at some pictures of him standing next to all the other running backs. I mean, he looks like a linebacker out there. Braylon Allen is just not somebody that I've had high. He's never been in my top 5 of running backs. I just don't think the NFL is looking for that kind of running back right now. I mean, there may be one team, like the Derrick Henrys and the bigger smash mouth kind of, if that's what you want to do. But, I mean, you have to have lateral agility to play running back in the NFL. That's just my opinion. You need to create space, just like a wide receiver. And I'm not sure Braylon Allen has that ability given that size and frame. And I was really, really hoping I was going to see what kind of speed and acceleration he had. And unfortunately, he didn't do it, right? The other guy I was really disappointed in is my last loser for the show here is Will Shipley. And I think he is rehabbing from an injury from college football, and I get it. He came to the podium and said he is the number one, passing all-purpose back in the draft. Now, I've done a lot of scouting with Will Shipley. I've done a ton of, films on all 22. Nice guy, nice player. He's not in my top 5, probably closer to the 8, 9, 10 area. I was hoping to see him and his agility. You can see here on the screen that he ran a 4.42. These are his high school things. So that's, we were kind of hoping maybe getting the 4.3s and 4.4s, but I guess unfortunately he's hurt. So he has to be a loser, at least for me on the show here, only because, we didn't get to validate anything. And then the pro day is, going to come up, and I guess that's where we're going to have to see what his 40 time is and stuff like that. But I was hoping to see some work from Will Shipley, but he just didn't participate. So, all right, there you guys got it, man. They are my winners and losers for the combine. Again, if you're interested at all in my ranks or my dashboard, it's pretty cool. I got all 22 films in there cut up of a lot of players. Whatever's in my library, I cut up. Got my ranks not only for 2024, but 2025, 2026 as well. Future classes. It's a pretty cool database that not a lot of people have. So it's pretty cool and unique. I'll have my email in the show notes below. So give me a comment, guys. Who else won? Who else lost? Tell me what you think. But again, combine is always fun. You can't take too much stock in it. I know from when you get to the wide receiver show, man, all the wide receivers are jumping ahead because of all the speed and everything in there. But in any case, just because you're fast doesn't mean you can play in the NFL. Never lose sight of that. You got to know there's so much more to being a successful NFL player than just running fast in shorts. But at least it gives us a little bit of athletic profile of what these players look like. Thanks for watching.